So welcome back everybody to Hello, It's Better to Talk. It's really good to see you here and thanks so much for popping by. Today we're going to be talking about love, as it's February. We're going to be talking a kind of slightly different type of love really, aren't we? Thinking about the 31st of May last year, and I'm here with Tim Rice. And so Tim, do you want to talk about a little bit about my husband, didn't you? Yeah, that's right.
I might as well introduce myself.
And a relationship counsellor. Hello, my name's Helen Garlick. For 35 years, I was a family lawyer and mediator, but I kept secret what was happening in my own family of origin. Now I know it's time to talk about it. So I'd like to warmly welcome you to Hello, It's Better to Talk. Okay, so 31st of May 2020 was would have been the 60th birthday of my younger brother David if he'd lived. But as you'll have been watching from this, he died back in 1981. And my mum died in 2017. Actually, we were going to introduce you to my mum. My mum is sitting behind us in purple velvet. She'd probably rather like purple velvet. So we planned on the 31st of May to inter my mum's ashes down in North Cornwall in St Martin's Church, where my brother is already buried and my father's ashes are. So there was a whole interment ceremony planned. We were going to have a party in the Bray Institute in Martin Church just to kind of reconnect with people. And then lockdown happened, didn't it? And so whilst we've been incredibly lucky in many ways, that meant that ceremony, that ritual couldn't happen, which was a blow. So we were kind of thinking, well, what else could we do? So do you want to pick up the story from there?
Yeah, well, we wanted to do something to mark the day.
Yeah.
And we both like singing.
Yes.
So it was you who spotted that there was a performance of Handel's Messiah on that date with the Self-Isolation Choir, which at that point we hadn't heard of.
Yeah.
Mainly because it didn't exist until, obviously, isolation occurred. And then this amazing fellow called Mark Strachan started something called the Self-Isolation Choir. And then we thought, oh, this is a good idea, and we joined it as well. So on the 31st, we were ready, prepared, we'd rehearsed.
With Ben England.
With Ben England, the conductor, who's a lovely man who is very inspiring and just makes you just want to join him and sing. Yeah. And so we joined the choir on that day, and when you log in, you suddenly look down and you see how many participants there are in this Zoom connection. And there were like thousands of them. There were literally, I don't know how many exactly on that day, we don't know, but they were from all over the world, weren't they?
Yeah, so this was something that kind of came out of lockdown, we couldn't meet together singing as choirs, but we could meet in our own homes, so virtually across the world. And Mark, I'm not quite sure how you pronounce his name, it might be Strawn anyway. Mark set up the Self-Isolation Choir and got in Ben England, and we were rehearsing. I'm a soprano, Tim sings bass, and so we were rehearsing week after week, building up to the 31st of May. And then, yeah, it's right, because when we logged in on that day, there was that link with Canada, wasn't there?
It was amazing because you saw the chat room, with all these people putting messages up, and it was whizzing round, with all these people from all over the world connecting with each other, which was wonderful. Yeah. And I just happened to notice that there was somebody from Canada, and they came from a place called Mississauga, which is just outside Toronto. And I sent a little message, to Angie, wasn't it? Yeah. Angie, saying, "Hi, Angie. Wow, my uncle lives in Mississauga on this address, And she sent a note back to me saying, if I look out of my window, I can see that road. I can probably even see his flat, his apartment, And so there was an amazing connection that we found just by joining a choir. And normally, you sit in a hall, in a village hall or something with 80 other people, but this was with thousands of other people from literally all over the world. Some people waking up in California at some unearthly hour to in the middle of the night perhaps, and then other people who were in sort of Asia or somewhere who were at the end of their day, and we were kind of in the middle of our day or something like that. So it was wonderful, and the feeling of joining in with all those people who were singing simultaneously exactly the same gorgeous music.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful, and I was thinking of my brother, and there are unto us a son is born, a child is born. So I was kind of sobbing at that bit, but it didn't really matter because we were doing it in our own room. But it was a wonderful release and feeling connected to all of it. So thank you, Mark, thank you, Ben, thank you, the Self-Isolation Choir, because that made that day so special for us.
It was.
And indeed, Pippin, our Cocker Spaniel, was there, wasn't she, as well? So she was. We've got a picture of her somewhere with a copy of the Messiah, because she was watching us. So at that point, Pippin was not yet a mummy. So Pippin, Pippin is still quite sleepy.
There she is. No.
All right, here we go. So we.
Should we show?
Yeah. So Pippin hadn't even got this one as a twinkle in her
Little
eye.
Ziggy. This is little Ziggy here, who is 5 months old.
Yep, just over 5 months now. So
Born in isolation, born in lockdown, weren't you?
yeah.
Weren't you, Ziggy? Yeah,
Ziggy
you were born in
is
lockdown.
the youngest of Pippin's puppies. So we decided to have puppies last autumn, didn't we, Puppet? And Pippin had 6 puppies, and Ziggy Stardust is the 6th. He actually had a kind of zigzag on his head when he was born, although that's grown out. But we think he's very wise.
Reminded us of David Bowie, so
He did, yeah.
that's why he's called Ziggy Stardust.
Yeah, and we didn't actually mean to keep him, but the problem was he would always look at us. From the moment he woke up in the morning to the moment he goes to sleep at night, this boy looks at us with adoration. So, Ziggy Stardust, you're here to stay.
Well done, Ziggy.
So,
You're now a video star.
And now you're a video star, Zig. What do you think about that? Okay, so thanks very much for staying tuned and meeting young Zigmeister. And look forward to seeing you next week, when we'll also be talking about love.